Hello students. After learning topic number 5 about the rational and irrational numbers, now it is time to learn topic number 6, in which we need to learn how to prove the given number is an irrational number. The method we are going to use here, that is known as contradiction method, in which first of all we are going to assume that the given number is a rational. Then we will prove that our assumption was absolutely wrong. It means the number is not a rational one, but it's an irrational number. Let's have the example. Example number 1, we need to prove root 2 is an irrational number. So now, to prove root 2 is an irrational number, first of all we are going to assume root 2 is a rational number. You know that any rational number we can write in the form of fraction. So, as we have assumed root 2 is a rational number, in the next step we are writing root 2 is equals to a upon b, where a and b are co-prime. Let me recall the term co-prime here. It means the a and b are in the simplest form. You cannot cut them further. So a and b are co-prime numbers. In the third step, we are squaring on both the sides. So we are getting 2 equals to a square upon b square. Using transposition in the next step, I can write 2b square equals to a square. It means a square is made up of 2 into b into b. It means in the next step I am writing 2 is a factor of a. Now the further again, as we have written 2 is a factor of a, I can write a equals to 2 into something. That something I am taking as the variable c. So a equals to 2c. Again, we are squaring on both the sides. We are getting a square is equals to 4c square. But in the earlier steps, we have written a square is equals to 2b square. So the value of a square, 2b square, now we are going to substitute here. So it means you can see in the next step 2b square equals to 4c square. After using transposition, we are getting the value of b square is equals to 2c square. It means b square is made up of 2 into c into c. So 2 is also a factor of b. It means 2 is a factor of a and b both, which contradicts our assumption where a and b must be the co-prime numbers. But here 2 is the common factor. So our assumption is absolutely wrong. Which one? Root 2 is a rational number. That is wrong. It means root 2 is an irrational number. So this is how you can prove the given number is an irrational number. Let's have the second example. Prove root 5 is an irrational number. So again, as the steps we have done previously, we are assuming root 5 is a rational number. So I can write root 5 is equals to a upon b, where a and b are the co-prime numbers. Remember, very much important actually thing we have written in the bracket, and that is the base of the sum over here. A and b are the co-prime numbers. Now squaring on both the sides, I am getting 5 is equals to a square upon b square. Transposition, then I am getting 5b square is equals to a square. So I can say that 5 is a factor of a. Now we are going to use this line to solve the sum further. So a equals to 5 into c. Again squaring on both the sides, we are getting a square is equals to 25c square. Now the value of a square we need to substitute from the previously written equation, where a square equals to 5b square. So now in place of a square we are going to write 5b square. So 5b square is equals to 25c square. Using transposition, we can get the value of b square, which equals to 5c square. So from this also we can write that phi is a factor of b. So it means phi is a common factor of a and b, which contradicts our assumption. In our assumption, we have assumed that a and b are the co-primes. But here a and b are not the co-primes. It means the assumption root phi is a rational number, which is absolutely wrong. It means root phi is an irrational number. Now then, in the examination, the same question can be there in 2 markers or maybe in 3 markers. Listen, we have taken example number 3 over here. Prove that 3 plus 2 root 5. So, something in multiplication with the root 5, that is true, and something in the addition also, 3. So the whole number is 3 plus 2 root 5. We need to prove the whole number, that the number taken 3 plus 2 root 5 is an irrational number. So now if the same question is there, actually asked in 2 marks, then you can consider that the root 5 is an irrational number. No need to prove root 5 is an irrational number. You can assume the root 5 is an irrational number. But if the same question is asked in 3 marks, then first of all you need to prove root 5 is an irrational number using the concepts we have seen earlier in example number 1 and 2, and then only the further steps you need to do to prove 3 plus 2 root 5 is an irrational number. So listen, if the question is of 2 marks, you can assume root 5 first of all as an irrational number, and if the same question is there of 3 marks, you need to prove root 5 is an irrational number. After that, these are the common steps you need to do, whether the sum is of 2 marks or 3 marks. Let's see what we have done. As you know, 3 plus 2 root 5, let that be a rational number. 3 plus 2 root 5, I can write a upon b. It means using transposition, I can write 2 root 5 equals to a upon b minus 3. Root 5 is equals to a upon b minus 3 whole upon 2. A, b, 3 and 2 all are the integers. It means a upon b minus 3 whole upon 2 is a rational number. But root 5 is actually an irrational number. So it contradicts the fact that root 5 cannot be equals to a upon b minus 3 whole upon 2. It means 3 plus 2 root 5 is an irrational number. Now these are some of the practice sums. After learning how to prove the given number an irrational number using the example number 1 and 2 and the third example also we have taken, and we have discussed what to do if the sum is there in a 2 marker segment or in their 3 marker segment. So after learning all these things, you can solve these practice sums. The sums are taken from your textbook and some of the extra sums are also there. So you know that we have divided the chapter into the topics. This is the 6th topic we have completed. Only one topic left. So definitely I will try to send that video in the next week. So we are going to complete the chapter after that video. Hopefully you have learned a lot. Go through the video at least twice, and just after finishing the video try to solve these sums. So the concept, actually I believe you are going to memorize it. All the best.